sorry. Thank you. Okay.
Yes. I forgot to hit the record button last time I did my Zoom call. It was a big bummer, but okay, so I'm going to go over a little bit of what I went over on that Zoom call just to start out with, because there's a few things I'm learning that are so important when it comes to our plexus business. Hi, Jim. Are you going to flex for us? Right? Okay, that's my brother-in-law right there. So there's a few things that I think are so important for us, for our plexus business and for our journey health-wise. And the first one being our why. And creating a why that makes you cry, a why that is emotional. And how do we do that? Well, we start to ask ourselves a few different questions. A why is easy to come up with if it's a what. What do you want? A goal that you want. You want to, bring dad home. You want to not have to work so much. You want to be able to provide insurance for your kids. There's lots of different what's we need, but we need the why behind those what's. So you develop that by attaching feelings to them. How would it feel if you were able to bring your husband home? How would it feel if you could provide your kids with dental care and you got to sit by them at the dentist's office and know that you're going to pay out of pocket and it's not going to harm your finances? So attach a feeling to it. Ask those feely questions. How would it feel if you were able to do some of those things that are part of your what, or what you want to see happen? So when I was really first started and trying to develop my why, I got it confused with my what. And I had a whole list of things that I wanted to be able to do. And one of those things was to bring Phil home more because he's working a lot. And so one day, so this is kind of what I shared last time, and I'll touch on it a little bit. I read Pilgrim's Progress with my kids every year. It's part of our curriculum, and I sit with them and we read through Pilgrim's Progress because it's just full of such rich theology and good stuff about our Christian walk. And I always cry every time reading Pilgrim's Progress and seeing this burden that Christian bears, this huge heavy burden that he bears. Now in the book, it's relating to sin. Right now I'm talking about stuff, the loads that we bear. And I just started thinking, why does it make me cry so much? Why does it pull on my heartstrings so much watching this? And I remembered as a kid growing up in our home, we really had nothing, but we were always giving something. And we were conditioned to kind of see burdens that other people were bearing. Our friends weren't the most popular people, and they were always kind of the underdogs, and Ricky knows too. Ricky, my sister, is up there. We were just conditioned to kind of see those burdens and look for those burdens that people were bearing, and we were conditioned to try to be those people that tried to make them better, or to try to ease that burden a bit if we could. So anyway, I just kind of was remembering that, and I think that's why whenever I read that book, it just really is heavy on that. And it has translated into my adult life. We love to feed the homeless. We love to do things because these are the people that bear a burden. What I didn't realize are that it's kind of a more visible burden. These people have a more visible burden. But then we went to Leaders Retreat, and we got to visit with Ame Darling. And Ame Darling told a story about her husband. And she said that her husband was always so weighed down and heavy. And I started to think about Christian and Pilgrim's Progress and this burden that he was bearing. And as she was telling the story, it just became vividly real to me. And she was watching her husband, and he was just bearing this heavy, heavy load. He had been bearing it for a long time. And one day they sat down at the table to do their finances. I can't remember the story exactly. They sat down to do their finances, and it would have been a Plexus payday. And so as he was looking on their bank statements, he saw this deposit from Plexus Worldwide. And she's like, I visibly saw burden and baggage rolling off of his shoulders. And it just resonated. So it just struck a nerve with me, that thing. And I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it. And when I got home, I was looking at Phil differently. And the next morning after me getting home, he rolled out of bed at 4:30 in the morning like he always does, never complains, never, you know, he doesn't visibly have that burden. I've never really needed to fix anything because he can really do anything. But it was like my eyes were opened and God was revealing something to me, and I saw this burden that he was bearing, and it was like it all came full circle that everybody bears burdens that we can't see. And my husband was clearly bearing a huge burden that I couldn't see. I knew it was there. You see that heaviness and all of that, but it just registered to me that he has this heavy burden, and that then became my why. Why? Because it made me cry. I think I cried the whole day after that realization that my husband was rolling out of bed, going to work every day, bearing this huge burden, and God had given our family a tool in Plexus to start chipping away at it. I'm going to cry again. I cried in the last one. I'm going to cry again just because it really just feels so, it just hit me, you know, that it's not our what, it's our why. Why? And that's what I want you guys to establish, is a why behind your what's. Don't stop at the what you want to see happen and what you want to provide for your family and, you know, where you want to go. Attach that emotional connection to your why. So important. Anyway, so that the why is the first and foremost thing I think that you need to have, because the three things we're going to go over tonight is our why, which I just kind of went over. If you need help developing your why, Rhonda has a great training that she's doing on it, and you can start at the beginning at Silver and 7 on her page. Or if you don't want to do that and it's too overwhelming, send me a message and I'll help you develop your why and try to work out all of the details so that you can get down to the why behind your what. We're going over our why because our why has to be bigger than our excuses. So that's the second thing I'm going to go over today. I did make notes because I go off on rabbit trails, and that's my whole thing. What I want to start cutting out is all of those rabbit trails and all of the excess, and that's going to be the third thing that I'm going to talk about. But first, so we went over why. Now we're going to go over our excuses. Our why has to be so big, it has to have an emotional connection so that we can get through all of the excuses. Many of the excuses, so you guys can raise your hand if you can think of an excuse that I didn't mention, but these are going to be the main ones that I can think of. I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll start tomorrow. How many times do we hear that? I'll do it tomorrow. I don't have time today. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start my diet tomorrow. I'll start my business. I'll start messaging people tomorrow. One big excuse. I don't know where to start. It's too overwhelming. So you don't do anything. Don't do nothing. It's pertinent to your business. Don't do nothing. I don't have the time. So I'm going to go through these quickly and then I'm going to elaborate on them. I don't have the time. I don't have any money. I don't have any friends. I don't have a good story. I don't have a testimony. Right? These are some of the excuses that we will use. Now, some people have excuses that they don't even know are excuses, and it will be a reason. An excuse is any reason for you to not do something. That's going to be an excuse. So we'll start with, I'll do it tomorrow. What you do today is going to establish your tomorrow. I just posted a post about it if you didn't see it. What you do today is going to help your tomorrow. What you don't do today could be detrimental to your tomorrow. Don't wait until tomorrow to do something. If you think of it, do it right now. Do it today. Set aside some time to do it. If not, make it the top of your list tomorrow and do it before you get another excuse to say, I'll do it tomorrow. Don't use that as an excuse. Cross that one off. I don't have the time. That's the third thing that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to go more in depth with it. But I feel like I have a place where I can really genuinely say most, if not all, excuses have no place. I have no time is one of the big ones. I have 7 kids. I homeschool. I have a co-op. I help my husband. I'm running around kids. I have teenagers that have jobs. I don't have time either. We need to be better stewards of our time. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm not going to go into that detail right now. I'll go into that because that's my third thing. I don't have money. I didn't have money either. I was dirt broke. Many of you have seen my testimony or heard my story. Dirt broke, living in a camper trailer with 7 kids. I had nothing, yada, yada, yada. You've heard it all before. But then I thought of something that probably most of you don't know. So I'm a Ruby ambassador, and I would not recommend this for anyone, because if you can do these things, you should, because they will be helpful. So you will always see me wearing this cute little, ask me about plexus, can you see it? Hat. Why do you always see me wearing this hat? Because it's the only plexus swag I own. This is it. This hat. I got it in the very beginning when I first started. I bought 2 of
Rossie, you're frozen. Come on. I'll send her a text message. Can anybody else see her or hear her? No? Okay. Maybe she'll be jumping back on here. Are you back on there?
I think so. Can you hear me now?
Oh, who's this?
Oh, it's Ruth Ann. Sorry. I lost everybody.
Well, and Rossie froze, and so I don't know where she disappeared to. Might be trying to get back on.
Yeah, I just had to redo the whole thing. Are you the only one on there right now, Darcy?
No, we're all on here. Do you know, while I have you, Ruth Ann, do you know who else is on Maggie, and do you know who the other phone person is?
It'd be Abby, probably.
Okay. Abby, are you on?
They have the 231 numbers.
Okay. Then I think that's probably who it is. She's trying to find a hot spot. She'll be back on here shortly.
Yeah, they don't have good service where they live.
Well, no, I'm talking about Rossie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she froze and then she disappeared. But she should be getting on here.
Gotcha.
So sorry.
Yay!
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So sorry. I'm out in the boondocks, and so I lost service, but I hooked it up to my phone, so hopefully it will work now.
Okay.
Okay. So back on. You probably lost me at my hat, right?
Yeah.
Did you lose my hat? Okay. So it's my only plexus swag that I have. I gave out more than I have ever owned. I still don't have business cards. I still don't have brochures. I don't, nothing. I have gotten to Ruby without all that stuff. Now, would it have made my job and journey a little bit better? Absolutely. If you can do it, do it. But it can be done without all the fluff. I promise you. You can have no money. That is the best part about Plexus. When we say you're investing $34.95 in your business, that's absolutely true. You could not invest one more penny, although I would never suggest you not being off of your products, but that's the benefit that we have. $34.95 is what it costs us. Anybody can do $34.95. And then, you know, do little, save a little bit. If you're needing to spark your team a little bit, save a tiny bit out of your checks and give away a little swag and help somebody else's business. That was more my focus. You know, I was doing okay running my business without any Plexus swag, but I wanted you guys to be able to have some Plexus swag, so I'd rather give it to you than keep it for myself. So I went to Ruby with this hat. That's it. Same one I've had since. I think I ordered it after I turned silver. It was $10. $10. I ordered 2 of them, so it was $20. I have no friends. If you have no friends, you might have a little bit of work to do. Make friends. Go out. Network. I'm sure you have neighbors. If you don't have neighbors, I'm sure you shop at the grocery store. If you don't shop at the grocery store, I'm sure you take your kids to the park. If you don't take your kids to the park, you probably take them to the doctor. Start networking. Make more friends. And you don't have to have a million friends. Amy Paul, which some of you guys know, and she's a sweet friend, had started out with 200 friends on Facebook. 200 friends. I personally I think know most of you, and I know you have more than 200 friends. So friends should not be an excuse. If you don't have friends, make some new ones. I don't have a good story. Okay, so I just posted Kendra Hall. I think that's her name. What's her name? Kendra Hall, I think. I just posted her video about storytelling. We make your story good enough. I really feel like if somebody says that they don't have a good enough story, and especially if they're a believer or a Christian, you're really saying that what God's doing in your life is not good enough. It is. You might just not be good at telling it. So you do a little bit of research on storytelling. A few things that I like to say when, and Gina is a good one because we were kind of talking about this at Super Saturday. If you don't know how to tell a good story, what you're going to do is learn how to use descriptive words. You don't have to be the greatest storyteller in the world. You don't have to exaggerate or fluff up your story. Use descriptive words. Like I said in my last video, it's not just a red car. I didn't just go buy a red car. I bought a candy apple red car that reminded me of the car my grandpa drove in a parade when I was 5 years old, and I got to throw candy off of the thing. I didn't just buy a red car. I bought a memory. So attaching descriptive words to your story, building your story that way is a great way to have something that you can share with other people. Make your story good enough. If you don't know how, there's lots of resources, and that Kendra is a great resource to go and learn how to tell your story. It is good enough, and it is something that people need to hear. So don't let that be an excuse. I don't have a testimony. That's a big one too. People don't start working their Plexus business because they don't have a testimony. Well, a couple things with that. If you don't have a testimony yet, invite other people to join you on the journey. You don't have to have a testimony. Secondly, trust your friends. I'm sure who you signed up under is somehow a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend who are all taking Plexus products. Trust us. Trust our testimonies. Use our testimonies. You have thousands of testimonies to use and to send people. We know that these products work. I'm 100% a believer in these products. You need to find your belief in these products, and the way you're going to do that is you being on the products, yes, but also reading about your friends, reading about all the other people that are taking Plexus products. Be watching those testimonials. Be watching those diamond documentaries. Watch those, because that's how you're going to build your belief. Don't use that as an excuse that you don't have a testimony. The one thing I wish I had done or had done differently, and you will hear this probably out of just about every Plexus ambassador, is I waited too long to start sharing. I wanted my testimony. I wanted to be able to say that the products worked. My biggest mistake. Don't use that. Don't use that as an excuse. So to kind of end on this excuse thing, I want you to look through your vocabulary, and I've said this to a few things. I might have said it on the last training. Look through your vocabulary and things that you have not done in your life, trips that you have not gone on, things that you have not done with your kids. You know, if you're a homeschooler, the things you're not doing each day for homeschooling. You know, even with your Plexus business, why am I not reaching out to people? Why am I not posting on Facebook and Instagram? Why am I not telling people at the grocery store? Everything you're not doing, there is an excuse attached to it. Find out what that is, identify it so that you can eliminate it. Don't let excuses be bigger than your why. Your why has to be so good and feel so powerful that it's your fuel that pushes you through all of that. One more excuse that is a legitimate excuse, and we kind of dealt with it today, is mean people. there are going to be mean people. I want you guys all to prepare yourself. There are mean people out there. There are people that are mean and they're not intentionally being mean. It's going to come across as mean. Maybe they say something to you about how you're running your business and it comes across mean and it's disheartening and you have to take a step back for a minute and it might make you cry. Don't let that become an excuse. This is our industry. You're going to have people that come at you and say things that are not kind or not understand your motive for being salesy. You're going to deal with that. You're going to have to develop a thick skin. Pray about your heart motive continually because you do want your motive to be good. But also the industry that we're in, what we're selling is something that people need. This isn't, we're not, like we say before, I'm not selling candles, although I will buy candles from my candle selling girls. We're not selling lipstick, although I will buy lipstick from my lipstick selling friends. I'm selling stuff. You're all selling things or sharing things that are giving people their life back, that are giving people financial freedom and digging them out of debt. You have something that everybody could benefit from, and I want you to be confident in that. Do what you need to do. Watch what you need to watch to gain your confidence in that, because that is what you are bringing to the table. I have no shame in my game. There was a lot of shame in my game, and I didn't want to share because of what I thought people would think. There is absolutely no shame in my game right now. I will share with anybody and everybody, and I will even go so far as to say, you need what I'm bringing to the table because I know what I have. I know what Plexus is as a company. I know what Plexus brings to the table as far as product, and I have no shame. No shame, and I want you guys to get there because if you're not there, you're going to waste so much time. But then again, your why you're doing this needs to be bigger than that. It needs to be bigger than the mean comments. It needs to be bigger than what people are going to think about you. It needs to be bigger than all of that. Don't waste your time on worrying what other people think, right? Okay, onward. My last thing, so we talked about why, and we talked about excuses. One of the biggest, I think, it's a combination. One of the biggest excuses that I hear and see, and still have, I fight it every day, is time management, and being overwhelmed. Like, where do I start? What do I do? There's too much. I don't have enough time in the day. I get that because I still struggle with that every day. So I want to talk about a little something I've been learning a lot about, and I'm trying to post about it, not only for Plexus purposes, but to the homeschooling moms, to the working moms, to everybody, because I think we live in a culture that has become very busy. We can be a stay-at-home mom and be so incredibly busy all the time, going and going and going and going. I love to use the words 1,000 steps to nowhere. I am a master. I just posted about it today. I am a master of taking 1,000 steps to nowhere, all in the name of I'm so busy. I'm so busy. So I want to talk about essential living. What is essential? What is non-essential? I think the best way for you to come to the place where you can start eliminating a lot of the non-essential stuff is to sit down after a day, or even take little sit-down moments throughout your day and write down everything that you've done, everything that you've document your day. What have you been doing? How many piles of laundry did you fold? How many times did you start folding the laundry and go to check on your phone, or go to just walk a circle around the house, or answer a phone call and then walk circles? I'm a walker. I'll walk circles. My whole family is like this. Walk circles while you're talking on the phone. 1,000 steps to nowhere while I could have been on the phone folding laundry, put it away, and gotten a new load in the laundry all while I was on the phone. But no, I chose to take 1,000 steps to nowhere in the process of my phone call. So essential living. What is essential? What needs to get done? Start by documenting a day or 2 days and see all the things that you do that are not essential. I think you're going to be shocked. I was shocked. So essential living is putting everything, elevating everything that is essential, everything that's important, everything that you need to do, and moving those to the top of your list and start eliminating all those extra things that you do every day that you don't need to do. You won't catch me watching TV, very, very rarely. I just don't do it anymore. You won't catch me reading, you know, an Amish novel. I love my Amish people, but I don't read the Amish novels anymore because it's just not essential to my life right now. Am I against reading or watching TV? No, I'm just saying these are things I had to eliminate. So I don't want to, you know, make anyone feel bad or whatever. You can watch your soap opera, whatever. But is it essential? That's what I'm asking you. Do you have to do it? That's what I'm asking you. You cannot form a plan of action until you can write down the things that are essential to your business, Plexus business, and that's what I'm going to kind of talk about right now, and to your life. You have got to eliminate. Don't be a busy person. Don't get caught up in that. I realize that we have a lot to do in a day, and I realize that some of us have a lot more things on our plate and a lot more things that we're juggling. You have to, even in that, eliminate those things that are not as important. A, B, and C. What's most important, sort of important, least important. You have to learn how to eliminate. You have to learn how to be a good steward of your minutes. Shauna and I were talking the other day, and I kind of liked what she said because it made me kind of think for a second. She said, you're learning, or I don't remember, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Shauna, how to suck the life out of every moment, right? Is that what you said? Something like that. That's what I want to do. I want to suck the life out of every moment. And that was a great analogy. I think sometimes that can be dangerous because even in that, I find myself making myself more busy. But if you're a master of your moments, if you learn how to master your moments, you're no longer going to take those 1,000 steps to nowhere. You're going to take every step that you take on purpose. And that's what you want to do. You want to plan out your days so that you have a purpose, and so you can be very purposeful in every step that you take. We start that by writing down, documenting our days, eliminate all the non-essential things that are happening in your day, and you focus on those essential things. If you have too many essential things, you need to put them in order. Most essential, medium essential, least essential, and you need to start working that way. You need to plan out your hours and your minutes so that you can be purposeful in them. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere. How many people have ended a day thinking, well, I was very busy today, but I didn't really get very much done, or I got everything halfway done. That's me on a daily basis until I've been trying to fix that because I've noticed that I have a problem and I have said it and I have wrote it down, and now I'm trying to actively fix it every single day, actively fixing it, because I don't want to be that person that's wasting my days away. I want to milk and suck the life out of every minute and get everything that I can out of it. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We hear that all the time. You hear me say it all the time. So this is me, putting my own foot in my own mouth. I fly by the seat of my pants. I can't be that person anymore. I can't fly by the seat of my pants. I just have too much to do. And I'm wasting my time not planning, just running with it, going with the flow. You guys hear me say these things all the time. So now when you hear me say those things, say, Rossie, I thought you weren't doing that anymore because I'm not supposed to be. So you need a realistic plan. It needs to be realistic plan. Can go for your business. This is for your home. This is for your marriage. This is for your homeschool. This is for your diet. You need something realistic. Now, yes, we dream big, but then we need active steps, realistic steps we can take to get to that huge dream. Not only that, we need small-term victories. You need to set victories up so that you can cross them off and feel those victories one by one while you're on your way to your big dream and your big goal. Because I think a lot of people will say, I'm going to be diamond in a year like Bridget. That's all great, but you're never going to get to be diamond in a year. You're never going to get to be diamond in 2 years if you're taking 1,000 steps to nowhere every single day. Just doesn't work. You need to plan out those small victories. What do you want to reach for? If you Silver is great, and that's something every ambassador, seasoned or no, should be reaching for every single month. 3 ambassadors. Go 3 ambassadors. Going silver is a huge accomplishment. If you can cross that off every single month, huge accomplishment. You need to throw yourself a party because that's huge. So, and that, when you can party for every victory that you have, it's going to be your fuel to get you to the next step. Gold and senior gold. If you're on a diet and losing weight is part of your thing and you want to lose 100 pounds, that's awesome. But you need realistic goals to get you to the place where you lose 5 pounds. Throw yourself a party. 10 pounds. Throw yourself a party. Motivate yourself. Use those small victories to motivate you onto that next step. So you develop a realistic plan. That means when you're sitting down to make your plan of what you want to do this month, it needs to stretch you a little bit. It can't be so realistic that it's like, duh, I'm going to, whatever. I'm going to lose 1 pound. Yeah, I can not drink water for a day and I'll lose a pound. No, it needs to stretch you a little bit. It needs to be a little bit towing the edge of what you really think you can do. But it still needs to be in that boundary of being realistic. This goes for your business and this goes for your diet. We were just talking about this because there's a lot of great things happening on Rhonda's team, and I encourage you guys all to check her page every day. So there's a few things, and one of those things is Road to Ruby. It's a huge step. And so one of my ambassadors asked me, can I really do it? So we sat down and did the math to see if it's going to be realistic. What do we really need to do? What does she really need to do, and the steps she needs to take to actually get there? We made a realistic plan, or we're developing a realistic plan. My mom is trying to go Ruby. She needs a realistic plan, something she can do and cross off every single day so that she can hit that Ruby mark. Not so big and so dramatic that you're going to say, I don't even know where to start, or it's too big, or I'll start tomorrow. You don't want it so big that you're not going to start today. You need a realistic plan. I can't say that enough. But it does need to stretch you. Stretch yourself outside of that comfort zone. If you find yourself, little things, if you're walking in the store, I know you guys have to know what I'm talking about. If you're walking in the store and you see somebody looking in the health food aisle for their cough syrup, and you think to yourself, they really need Plexus, and you walk out of the store and you didn't tell them. Stretch yourself. Make yourself do it. You might get like a slap in the face, worst case scenario, right? But it'll be easy for you next time to do it. Just do it. Stretch yourself. On a daily basis, stretch yourself. Do something today that you wouldn't normally do. Stretch yourself. It gets easier. Think of the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, they'll hate me forever and they'll never talk to me again and they'll delete me on Facebook. My life still goes on. So, just stretch yourself. Document the small successes. These will be your fuel. Okay, the other thing is you need to be consistent when you make your plan. You need to make your plan realistic so that you can be consistent. You need to make a plan that you are going to tackle every single day. Every day. Make that plan realistic so that you can tackle it every single day so that you can create habits. Habits are why some people are so good with their daily devotions or their time spent with the Lord or their eating habits or, all these things. Why are they good? Because they created a habit. What creates a habit? Consistency. Be consistent. I said in my last video, that's my next tattoo I'm going to get put across my forehead. Be consistent, because I struggle with that. But I've established that I have an excuse of not being consistent. It's become an excuse. God just didn't make me that way. No, that's just my excuse. That's a choice. Consistency is a choice. Decide to be consistent. Establish yourself new habits. Okay, one more thing on this, and then, we can open it up for questions or whatever. It is so easy to get overwhelmed, and there is a lot to do. When you're developing your plan, you need to write down all the things that you're going to need to do to grow your business. So that might mean that some pages you're going to have to turn off for a little bit or not check them. But because what happens is when you're too busy and there's so many things that you feel like you're checking on and so many pages you're checking on and so many feeds and messages you're checking on, you're going to end up not doing anything. You're not going to give anything 100% because you're spreading yourself out so thin. That's part of that essential living. So when it comes to business, decide what contest you're going to do and do it 100%. Give it 100%. Don't do every single contest. Don't do every single challenge because you're not going to do it 100%. You're not going to be successful. Decide what you're going to do. Be consistent, create a habit, and it will change your business. That is what has been changing my business. I've learned to file away those things that are non-essential so that I can focus on what's essential, so that I can be consistent because I'm realistic and I'm establishing new habits. It's a chain of events that happens, but it takes one step at a time, one purposeful step at a time. It's breaking away, itemizing your day, itemizing your time, and figuring out what you can do in that time. Working, knowing your limits. If you have, and it might mean you have to do a little bit of homework. If you only have that 15 minutes, I went to Ruby on 15 minutes. A lot of you have heard me say that. You're going to need to be very intentional in those 15 minutes. You can't get on Facebook and start getting carried away scrolling through people's feeds and checking up on people. That's not income producing activity. You have to be very intentional. It is hard. It was hard to go Ruby on 15 minutes a day, but it can be done if you are persistent, consistent, and you're doing the things that are essential. If you have an hour to go for your Plexus business, you need to do a little homework, see what you can accomplish in that hour. How many people can you cold call? How many of your ambassadors can you reach out to and train? How many videos can you fit in that hour? You need to do a little homework, figure out what you can do in a homework, and develop a plan so that you can have a list that you can cross off every time you sit down to do your hour. What can you do? And you know that you have an hour and that you realistically can accomplish all of those things that you set out to do in that hour. Be very, very intentional. Guard your time. Stop saying yes to everything. Stop, I've said this too. One of my main things is I don't ever want people to feel like I am not interested in their lives anymore because I don't have time to scroll through Facebook and Instagram anymore. So I scheduled, realistically, I had to sit down. What can I do? What can I do to make sure people feel like they're still important to me and that I'm still interested in their lives? I had to schedule my Monday nights. I have 1 hour scheduled to go and look through people's Facebook and Instagram, my friends and my ambassadors and people that I haven't had a lot of communication with. And I use that whole hour to go and check back up on people and go and like their last picture and leave them a little comment and a little nudge like, I'm watching you, I'm here, and I love you, So realistically, I can't scroll through my Facebook and Instagram anymore. And I know that that's hard for some people, and they probably do think that I just don't care anymore. I'm not watching them anymore. That couldn't be farther from the truth. But my why is very important, and my time is precious. Your time is precious. Guard it. Don't say yes. Don't waste your time. Don't be wasteful. Be a good steward. Learn and train yourself to be a good steward of your time, because you will not be able to do it all. I'm telling you, you will not be able to do it all, let alone do it all well, if you're saying yes to everything and you're taking those 1,000 steps to nowhere. Identify your 1,000 steps to nowhere and cut them out of your life for good so that you can work on what is essential and do those things well that you have decided to do. If you have decided to work this Plexus business, you will not do it well if you're trying to do everything. It's okay, and I want to tell you, it's okay to not do everything. Pick what you're going to do and do it well. That is going to be what grows your business. Not doing everything, that's going to do nothing for you because you're not going to do it well. Pick what you're going to do and do it well. Develop a plan. Plan out your 15 minutes or your hour. Plan it so that you can do it and do it well. Then walk away. I have to put my phone down. I was just telling my mom today, sometimes I'm at a place where now I have to give a lot more than 15 minutes. But during the day when I'm doing school with my kids, if I don't answer my phone, it's because I'm doing school with my kids. I can't give 100% to them if I'm 50% over here. So give your 100%, and it's okay to put your phone down, and it's okay to not do everything. Just decide what's most important and what's essential and do it well. So I know I'm kind of reiterating myself over and over and over, but I really want you to get this, because essential living, being purposeful and intentional and decisive and protective of your time is going to build your business and grow your business. It's going to help your family. It's going to help your marriage. It's going to help your relationship with your kids. It's going to help your homeschool. It only helps when you're giving 100% to something, when you're able to give 100% to something. Don't be busy, because I think that's what we probably all struggle with, being busy. But being busy, if it's watching TV all day long, reading books all day long, or I still take my long hot baths, sometimes that's being busy, and it's just not worth it. So anyway, if there's any questions or whatever, just raise your hand or click on there that you have any questions. But otherwise, I'll turn it over to you, Mom. I don't even know how long I went. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, well, if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask away. I need to find out, for sure, now I know Ruth is on here, Ruth Ann is on here, Maggie's on here, and is that you, Abby, that's on here too? I'm going to do a drawing, and I'm changing what I'm going to do the drawing for. I was going to do the shirt, but we have a lot of people who are not moms on here. And based on what Rossie's been teaching, this is, can you see? This is called the DMO Success Guide. And I was talking to Rossie about that. There's a section for personal growth, goals. There's DMO sheets. And look at, I don't know if you can see that, but it talks about, you can check off when you make a personal post, when you make a business post, when you've contacted new friends, all that kind of stuff. It has a place for contacts and everything you need. And it's a small little thing like this. And I'm going to do the drawing for that. But I want to make sure I have everybody in my basket that I need to. But does anybody have a question?
I have a question, Ruth Ann.
Hi, Ruth Ann. Shoot.
So kind of a question that Abby's asked me, and that I'm also wondering. Let's say we have a friend that has a health store, and are we allowed to put, like, if we buy like a bunch of product, are we allowed to put it at the health store, or is that something that you can't do? Or do you have to just sign the, like, if they just want to be like a customer or we just want to buy extra product that way, just as an idea to, you know, get more product out there and to tell people about it? Can we put a business card at the health store or that kind of thing?
Rossie?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can totally set up a display, but not the product. You won't want to have extra product. We're not really supposed to have product on hand, just what we use. Aside from, you know, if you're going to give slim samples, you can totally do that. But to actually have an inventory at a store, we're not supposed to do that. But to set up, you know, leave your business cards. The new magazines that Plexus has out now, they are less than $1. If you're able to do it, I think it's $17 for 25 of those magazines. They're amazing. They're awesome. You can leave those out, your business cards. If you want to fill up a jug of pink drink there and have it, you know, there during the day, you can totally do all of that. It's just the selling the individual bottles and things that they really advise not to do that.
And Rossie,
So you could put, go ahead.
You can take like empty containers as you use
Mm-hmm.
your product, take empty containers and create a display with them too.
Yes.
Okay. That helps, just to kind of understand that. Do you make your own business cards, or does Plexus make business cards that you order from them?
No, so I don't even have business cards yet, but it's on my to-do list as my something essential because I really need them. But if you go on Etsy, you can order them on Etsy. You can order them on, what else? Just Etsy. Huh?
You can order them.
Oh yeah, back office, you can. But there's really, really cute ones on Etsy, and they're pretty cheap. Yeah. So you can do them several different ways. You can have them make them, create them, send them to you, or you can buy a downloadable version and they put all of your information in there and you can print it off yourself at Vista. And it's like $5 for 200 cards or something. It's really reasonable. I really should have business cards because it's lame.
Well, and Graphic Nanny has some really cute ones, and they also have some really neat brochures that you could get too, Ruth Ann. It's Graphic Nanny.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
okay, I'm going to do
That
this
helps.
quick. I picked Gina's name.
Woo! Gina!
So Gina, send me your address, and I'm going to send you this cool book, and your life will be so much easier. Okay, anybody else have a question? Anybody?
Yes. Can you post a link or something where you got that book?
I can.
Yes.
DMO Success, and they've got bigger ones, but they're 3 months. They're quarterly. You get them quarterly, but I'm telling you, they're really neat. But you can get the big one, or you can get just the 5x7 type one, which that's the one I just handed out. I'm gonna do that.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna close this up then if nobody else has questions. I want to let everybody know that we're going to have another Zoom call next Sunday at 7 o'clock, and Andrea Estes, she's an emerald, soon to be a sapphire, and she's just darling, and her team is just on fire. So she's just like Rossie. So she will be a guest on the Zoom call next week. So make sure that you pass this on. And then Rossie, really quick, can you touch on convention?
Oh, yes. Shauna has a question, I think, real quick.
Yes, thanks. It took me a second to figure out how to unmute. Anyway, Rossie, I wanted to know if you could talk just a second about your friends on Facebook and Instagram. I noticed that your friendship, your friends list is growing. How do I get my friends list to grow? I've really been working intentionally on Instagram to create a better Instagram feed, but it's really not growing much at all. I would say in the last month, I've maybe acquired 50 new people, and most of those aren't any kind of person that I could potentially reach out to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a few things. The first thing I would say about tackling your friends list is don't prejudge anyone. Just write names down. And if you haven't talked to them in the last 6 months, don't just go and full on Plexus post, but go and like their last picture and comment on a picture. Just develop that little relationship one more time. And don't prejudge anyone. What I mean by that is don't say, don't think about their name necessarily when you're writing them down on paper, because really in our mind it should be everyone could benefit, if not from the business side of it, from the product side of it. There's something for everyone. So don't prejudge anyone, write everybody's name down, and then figure out how you're going to go about approaching them. So that's number one as far as friends list. Number two, you're seeing probably a lot of my friends list grow, especially on Facebook, because a lot of them are Plexus people. When the testimony starts getting shared, please know that a lot of them are Plexus people, and you're going to end up getting those Plexus people friend requesting you too. But putting yourself in different groups. So for instance, we have a new ambassador to our team, and she signed up because I did a nature study out at the park, and I ended up putting it out there on the Bakersfield Inspired Charter School page. So 2 people ended up coming, and 2 months later, one of them ended up signing up. So putting yourself on different pages and then trying to be active on those pages, that's something that I do on my Monday when I set aside time to do my social media. I'll go and leave a comment or a little post, or I'll just copy and paste a post. Like I did today, I had a post on essential living and time management, and I went and posted it in a couple of my pages where I'm a part of a group or whatever. So put yourself in different groups. Look for you, homeschooling groups, swimming groups, different things that you could maybe make a connection and have a group of people and connect yourself that way. Also, I think a lot of, I cannot emphasize enough, if you learn how to say things in a post and use those descriptive words to say what you want to say a little bit better, you invite people in. It's a little bit intriguing. And then always using hashtags. Use hashtags, and I know we say that a lot, and a lot of you probably feel like they're not working, but they are working. I even get people, I used a hashtag forever ago, but they end up going and scrolling through pictures for a hashtag, and they end up following me that way. Always use hashtags, the same hashtags. Use the same, I use Farm Life all the time, and I get a lot of followers from Farm Life because I'm always using that hashtag. So people who are interested in farm life are continually seeing pictures from me, and finally they'll be like, I'm just gonna follow this girl and see what she's all about. So use similar hashtags all the time. Put yourself out there. Involve yourself in groups. If you're wanting to grow your business, social media, put yourself in groups and look out different networks you can kind of put your foot in.
Okay.
That helps.
Thanks.
Yes.
I know I joined a group, Women in Agriculture. It's got like 40,000 members. And
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten the greatest relationships with many of those women there. And it is about building a relationship. I think I'm more interested in what they're doing with their lives and that type of thing. And Plexus naturally kind of falls into that. But right now, I just like getting to know them. So, you've got different groups that you're interested in on Facebook or Instagram, I guess.
Yes.
Do I invite them to be friends? Because I'm in quite a few groups and I'm active in there. Should I say, hey, do you want to be Facebook friends? Or do I send them a friend request?
Yes. Send them a friend request, and as soon as they accept your friend request, send them a little message. Hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. I'm looking forward to getting to know you. Hope you have a great day.
Okay.
Yep, friend request them all.
Okay.
Or if somebody follows you on Instagram and you follow them, send them a message. You can send them a private message.
Okay.
Something that I got a tip from Andrea is that when you have people that have birthdays, do a voice message to them. That is so effective. Voice message people. And some of them I don't even know. I just voice message them and say, hey, I want to know that I want to wish you a very happy birthday. I hope your 2017 is full of blessings. And that's it. So that's another thing for building relationships too.
Okay, that's a good one. I didn't think of that.
Yep. That's Andrea, the one that's going to speak to us next week. That was her idea. So
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Convention.
Oh, convention. Yes.
Okay, so convention is so exciting. Last year I went to convention. I had been doing Plexus for, what was I when I went to convention, Mom? Gold?
I think so, yeah.
I think I was gold at convention. They say, and it's not cliche, leaders are born at events. If there is any way that you're able to go to convention, you need to go to convention. You will see the very heartbeat and pulse of our amazing company, and you'll get to be motivated by people's stories and people that you love and you've been watching get to walk the stage. Even if you're a brand new ambassador, Bridget Ryan went to her first convention when she was a silver, and I think she had only been doing Plexus for maybe 2 months. So even if you're a brand new ambassador, they make it very, very inexpensive. It's $89, even if you have to pay it. $89 for you, and the rooms right now are $89 a room, but we can find you a roommate. If you can't pay that, we can find you 3 roommates, and you can pay $20 a night. If there is any way that you're able to go, try to go. This is what will make you a believer. You will leave saying, I can do that. I left convention and leaders retreat. While I was there, I saw all of my ambassadors. It was like I saw all of us standing there because they all have the same story. They all have the same story as us. There is no cookie cutter Plexus ambassador. You will leave so encouraged and inspired, and you will leave changed from convention. So if there's any way that you can go, if you are hesitant or you don't know if you can afford it, call me, call my mom, call your upline. We'll find a way. You can earn your money back from convention, you can earn that $89 back. Actually, it's $100. You can earn that back towards it. You can earn lots of prizes if you work really hard. Your points are made by ambassadors that you sponsor or ambassadors that your ambassadors sponsor through your levels 1 through 4, I believe. And by your PV, money that has been, or orders that have been placed through your website. So work hard, and if you can go, if there's any way for you to go, or if there's any way that I can help you go, everyone needs to be at convention. It's amazing, but it will sell out fast. So make sure that if you're able to go, that you get registered as quickly as you can. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well, I think a year ago when you were talking about that, Bridget went as a silver. The next time she's on stage as a diamond.
Yes, 1 year.
Rossie and Ricky and I are all taking our husbands this year. And there is an event there for men that it's unbelievable for the man ambassadors there. So I'm excited about that. And then stay tuned on our page. We're going to be announcing a pretty neat silver announcement. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
And on my page, so I'll just do mine right now because I am going to be, so I'm going to do it here pretty soon and put it out there so you guys will be the first to know. But I'm going to do a contest on my team page for anyone who earns winner dinner. I want to buy your outfit for winner's dinner. So that's going to be a contest that's going up on my page here pretty soon. Everyone who wins winner's dinner, I am going to clothe you, man or woman. So it'll be lots of fun.
Yay! That sounds good. All right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening, and we'll see you on Facebook and next week on the Zoom call. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you.
Love you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.